Hello students, today through this video I am going to explain you the last lesson of your supplementary, that is Moments, the Beggar by Anton Chekhov. And I would like to brief you the details of this lesson to make you understand it better before I go through the lesson in detail. And as the title itself indicates, the beggar, and there is a beggar in this lesson, and who is not workaholic, and who is very lazy, idle, and he accustomed, he is habituated to beg and earn his livelihood. And even when people are willing to offer him some work instead of giving money or any financial assistance, he is reluctant to do that because he found that begging is very easy for him to earn his livelihood. And in course of time, he met an advocate or a lawyer by name Sergey, and he asked him for some help or for some money. And Sergey inquired about him, and he said that he was a teacher, and due to some problems he was uh, terminated from the post, and he chosen the begging to earn his livelihood. But Sergey could not believe his words. He looked at him from top to toe. He looked at his attire, and he found that his shoes were not in regular condition, that means in perfect condition. The two shoes were different in size and shape, and he remembered that he had seen him somewhere earlier previously, and he recalled the conversation that he had with him once upon a time. Then he told that he was a student and he was expelled from the school because of his bad behavior. And now he started saying that he is a teacher and he has been terminated from the school because the colleagues did not like him. The people or the co-teachers who worked with him did not like him. And Sergey could not believe his words, and he scolded him that he could work and earn money instead of begging and lying. And the beggar accepted to take the work or do the work that Sergey offered him. And he also said that nobody was willing to offer him any work, so he was begging. And Sergey took him home and offered him some work, that is to chop the wood and to look after the domestic work. And the beggar never performed such kind of strenuous works, and he could not do it properly. And let us know how Sergey transformed him, and how the beggar gave up begging and became a decent man and a workaholic person. At the end of this lesson, you will come to know what transformed or what changed him into a respectable person. Let us start our lesson. The Beggar by Anton Chekhov. Kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to a poor, hungry man. For 3 days, I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. I swear it before God. So, here, what's the meaning of the word kopecks here? Russian coin equal to 1/100th of a ruble. That means just like we have 100 paise for a rupee, there 100 kopecks are equal to 1 ruble, and it's a Russian denomination, that means unit of currency. Probably the beggar and the whole story was set in Russia. So A man was begging for alms, means for some help. He said that he had not eaten anything for the last 3 days. He did not even have 5 kopecks to pay for a room to spend the night at, to take shelter. He swore, he promised in God that he spoke the truth, that he was not telling lies, he was not lying. Okay, he tried to convince the people, whoever he came across, seeking their help. For 8 years, I was a village school teacher, and then I lost my place through intrigues. I fell a victim to calumny. It is a year now since I have had anything to do. So let's see the meanings of the new words. What's the meaning of that intrigue? Make secret plans to do something illegal. Illicit means illegal or detrimental to someone, which is not useful for society and which is not accepted by the society. So this kind of illegal activities, or we call this as conspiracy, means to plan against somebody secretly and to do some illegal things. And I refers to the beggar himself. I fell a victim to calumny. What's the meaning of calumny here? The making of false and defamatory statements, means unbelievable statements which are not accepted by the people in the society about someone in order to damage his or reputation. That means to speak bad of somebody, ill of somebody. Okay, it is a year now since I have had anything to do. What does he want to tell through this para? He said that he had been a school teacher. He tried to convince the people there. He had been a school teacher in a village for 8 years. He worked for 8 years as a school teacher, but lost the job due to the conspiracy of his colleagues. That means his colleagues planned something against him in order to terminate him, and because of that, the dishonest acts of the colleagues or co-teachers, he lost his job. For the last 1 year, he was without work, but he didn't find any work since then. The advocate Sergi, advocate means a lawyer, a legal advisor. The advocate Sergi looked at the ragged, fawn-colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull drunken eyes, at the red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. Okay, in the course of begging, the beggar met an advocate whose name is Sergi, and Sergi looked at the ragged, means the dress is completely torn, spoiled, fawn colored overcoat of the suppliant. Fawn color means faded color. The color of the coat the beggar wore was completely torn and appeared to be very shabby, very untidy. What's the meaning of the suppliant? Suppliant means a person making a humble plea. Plea means request, appeal to someone in power or authority. Okay, fawn colored overcoat of the suppliant means what here? The beggar is requesting the people, whoever comes there to the place, give some, to offer him some help or money. At his dull, drunken eyes, and his face looked very dull and eyes, because he was a drunkard and he was addicted to alcoholic beverages. So his face looks very dull and eyes drunken. At the red spot on the either cheek, and so there are some kind of red spots on the either side of the cheek, and it seemed to him, to whom? Sergi, the advocate, as if he had seen this man somewhere else before. And Sergi understood that he had seen this beggar, he had met him somewhere earlier, but he couldn't recall where he had seen him previously. So, what's the name of the advocate? Sergi. And he looked at the light brown colored coat of the beggar. The beggar had dull, drunken eyes. There were red spots on both of his cheeks. Sergi felt, the advocate felt, that he had seen this beggar somewhere previously. I have now had an offer of a position in the province of Kaluga. It's a place. The mendicant means nothing but a beggar, went on. He went on saying, explaining to Sergi. He started convincing him before he asked about him. But I haven't the money to get there. Help me kindly. I'm ashamed to ask, but I'm obliged to. Why? I'm obliged to by circumstances. Obliged to means compelled or forced. So, what did he want to convey? The beggar continued that he had got an offer of a job in the state of Kaluga, in the nearby place. He had some employment in Russia. Kaluga is nothing but one of the states in Russia, the biggest country in the world. He did not have enough money to travel to the place. He had a job, but he had not enough money, sufficient money to reach the place. He wanted help through or from the people there, but he was reluctant to ask them, as he felt ashamed of himself seeking others' help or begging. But his circumstances compelled him or forced him to do so. As he had no alternative other than begging, he resorted to begging. And he said that in fact he didn't like to ask the help of the people. That's what he said to, or the beggar said to Sergi, an advocate. Sergi's eyes fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and the other low. So Sergi looked at him from top to toe and he looked at his shoes. What is the condition of that? One of which was high and the other was low. One shoe that he wore was high, means it has some greater height or greater than the height of the other, and the other low, that means both are not equal in size and shape, okay, are of the same height. And he suddenly, that means Sergi suddenly remembered something. Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street, he said. But you told me then that you were a student who had been expelled, that means sent out of the school, and not a village school teacher. Do you remember? So Sergi saw the man's shoes. He observed him carefully. Both of them had varying heel size. The size of the shoes, I mean the heel, the bottom of the shoe is called heel, not of the same. They were different in sizes. He remembered something. Sergi remembered something. He said that the day before the previous day, that means just 2 days ago, Sergi had seen the same beggar at what the place? Sadovia Street. Then the beggar had said, he remembered that when he met the beggar, he said to him that he was a student who had been removed or expelled means removed or suspended from the institution, and not that he was a school teacher. But now what he is telling, now he is convincing the people, saying that he was a school teacher and he lost his job because of the conspiracy of the other teachers, his colleagues. He asked the beggar, that means Sergio asked the beggar if he remembered it. What previously you said that when I met you earlier, you said that you were a student and you were sent out of the school, and now you are telling people that you are a teacher who lost his job. Like, it's not reliable. Sergi couldn't believe the beggar's words, and he thought that he is not a trustworthy person. No, that I can't be so, mumbled the beggar, taken aback. I am a village school teacher, and if you like, I can show you my papers. So the beggar was shocked and spoke softly. Mumbled means spoke softly. Taken aback means surprised, shocked. The beggar was shocked and spoke softly that it was not possible for him to be a student. He reiterated that he was a school teacher and could show his documents as a proof. He said that he would show his certificates. I was not a student. I did not lie to you. I was a teacher. If you want, I will show you my certificates. He requested. He tried to reassure him. Have done with lying. You call yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled. Don't you remember? Sergi flashed and turned from the ragged creature, that means the beggar, who is not smart enough, who looks very shabby, with an expression of disgust. What's the meaning of disgust? A feeling of revulsion, hatredness, of strong disapproval aroused by something unpleasant or offensive. That means if you look at a person who is not trustworthy and who is lying, and you hate him, and you don't like to look at the person, and you will not be pleased to look at the person. So here Sergi said that he had lied enough. What you are telling is not trustworthy, not believable. Sergi added that the beggar had told him that he was a student, and he even told the reason for getting expelled from his institution when he met him last time. You remember that he told that you were a student and you were sent out of the school or removed from the school, and you told the reason also why you had been sent out. But now you are telling another story. So Sergi pointed him out. This is dishonestly, my dear sir, he cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you. Damn you. So, what's the meaning of the word swindling here? Cheating a person of money. Means deceiving a person for the sake of money. Sergi was full of anger. Sergi became very angry. He lost his temper when he came to know that the man was not telling the truth, and turned away from the beggar. Okay, he felt a lot of contempt, hatredness, for he is not a trustworthy person. Sir, he said, laying his hand on his heart, the fact is, I was lying. I am neither a student nor a school teacher. All that was fiction. Fiction means which is not true, a falsehood, which is not real. Formerly means earlier, I sang in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. Now when the beggar came to know that Sergi was not believing his words, then he started saying the truth. Okay, what did Sergi say to the beggar previously? He shouted that the beggar was dishonest, he was a cheat, and Sergi would hand him over to the police. Even he put the fear of police that if you lie to me for the sake of money. So for that sake, what did the beggar reply? The beggar confessed. Confessed means agreed, accepted, admitted that he was lying. I'm sorry that I'm not telling you the truth. I'm lying. Now I will tell you the fact. And he said that he was neither a teacher nor a student. He was not a teacher, as he tried to convince Sergi now, and not a student, as he told him when he met him previously. He had been a singer in a Russian group and was removed due to his drinking problem. He was being a drunkard, alcoholic addict, and has been removed from the group dance. I mean the song group. He lied because why did he lie? He said he lied because people would not give him alms. Alms means any help. That means financial assistance. If he told them the truth. Now he admitted, he confessed that he was a singer in a Russian group and he was being removed from the group because of his alcoholic addiction. He was being a drunkard, and now he started lying to the people because he believed that they would not give him money if they tell him, if he tell the people the truth. Next, but what else? What else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. What can I do? Because people are not believing in me and they think that I am not a reliable person. I am not a trustworthy person. So they are not giving me money when I am telling them the facts. What that I am a singer in a Russian group and have been expelled because of my alcoholic addiction and my bad habit. Will people offer money? Will people show sympathy at him? No. So, what can you do? If you ask what you can do, cried Sergi, coming close to him. Work. That's what you can do. You must work. And Sergi cautioned him, of course, advised him that he should not lie and beg. He should better work and earn money. Okay, that's what you can do. You must work. Sergi screamed at him and said that he could work instead of lying. Okay, he was physically fit and so you can work and earn money instead of resorting to this kind of begging. Work? Yes, I know that myself. But where can I find work? How would you like to chop wood for me? The beggar said that he knew he should work. He also wanted to work. He was also willing to work. But who would give him work? There was no work for him. Nobody was offering him any work. Okay. I would refuse to do that. But in these days, even skilled woodcutters find themselves sitting without bread. Will you come and chop wood for me? Yes, sir, I will. Very well. Well, we will soon find out. Okay. Sergi offered the beggar, or asked the beggar if he was willing to chop the wood, cut the wood into wooden logs into pieces, so that they could use as firewood. Then the beggar accepted. The beggar wanted to chop wood, but said that even skilled woodcutters were out of work. Even the professional woodcutters, means carpenters, also are not finding jobs nowadays. So, who would employ him for it? And he also expresses doubt who would give him work. Where should I go for chopping wood? Even the carpenters or the woodcutters also are out of work, lost their employment. Okay. Then Sergi offered him work. Very well, we will soon find out. Okay, Sergi offered him work. He wanted to take him home and give him some work in his home. Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hands. He called his cook out of the kitchen. Here, Olga. Olga, who is Olga? Another character. So, might be the cook in Sergi's house. He said, take this gentleman into the woodshed and let him chop wood. What's the meaning of that hasten? Hasten is nothing but walked hurriedly. Okay, rushed. Okay, Sergi said that he is willing to work and his work would be judged soon. So, when he started working, then it will be revealed, it will be known to Sergi whether he was capable of doing that work or not. So, he walked off. How did he go? How did Sergi go? He walked off, rubbing his hands and called the cook. Who is the cook? What's her name? Olga. From the kitchen. Sergi handed over the beggar to the cook Olga in order to assign him some work. Okay? To look after, to supervise him working. What's the work? To chop the wood, to cut the wooden logs into small bits or pieces. Next, the scarecrow of a beggar shrugged his shoulder as if in perplexity and went irresolutely after the cook. What's the meaning of the scarecrow here? Scarecrow means nothing but a kind of image that I shown here on the left side below. See here, usually this kind of figures or effigies or images would be fixed or installed in the fields, because to protect the fields from the birds which cause a lot of damage. Okay, usually find this kind of scarecrows in villages among the fields. And how did the beggar look? Just like a puppet. Okay, a scarecrow. And shrugged means to slightly raise the shoulders to show willingness or unwillingness. What's the meaning of the perplexity here? A state of being puzzled, confused. Okay, confused or bewildered means surprised, wondered, shocked, etc. And went irresolutely means hesitantly, undecidedly, means doubtfully after the cook. Okay, that means the beggar actually did not want to do the work because he was not a workaholic person. He never worked hard to earn money, but as he had no alternative, he gave a word or promise to the advocate Sergi. Reluctantly, unwillingly, he followed the cook who would assign him work. Okay. It was obvious means apparent, clear. From his gait means walk, the way or manner of walking, that he had not consented means accepted or agreed to go and chop wood because he was hungry and wanted work, but simply from pride and shame, and because he had been trapped by his own words. Because he lied and people understood, especially Sergi understood, that he was not a trustworthy person, and he also accepted, the beggar also accepted that he would work hard if somebody would offer him work, and so he came to Sergi's home willing to do the work. Okay, so the beggar resembled a scarecrow. You know how he looked. His reluctance means unwillingness to go to the shed was signified or shown clearly by his act of shrugging his shoulders. Actually, he was not in a mood or in a state of doing the work. He followed the cook hesitantly, means doubtfully, unwillingly. He was hesitant. Why was he hesitant? Because he was hungry. He had not eaten anything for a long time. So he was hungry. And although he wanted to do work, he did not feel energetic enough to do it because he was lethargic. Having eaten nothing for a long time, he had not adequate energy to do the work, as he had promised Sergi. And why he had to do that now? When he was hungry and though he had no energy to do, because he had promised Sergi, the advocate, that he had to go to work, that he would work. Whatever work was given, he would do it. Okay. For that sake, he accepted to do the work. It was obvious too that his strength had been undermined by vodka. Sorry, that is Volga and the cook, and that he was unhealthy and did not feel the slightest inclination. What's the meaning of the word inclination? Interest or willingness for toil. Toil means hard work or task. So here actually he did not want to do the work, and moreover he felt very hungry, having eaten nothing for a long time, and he promised Sergi that he would do the work, and he did not feel strong enough because he was under the influence of the alcohol and was not fit to do this kind of strenuous or laborious work because he was addicted to alcohol, and so he did not possess such stamina to do such labor. That means strenuous or tiresome work. Sergi hurried into the dining room. From its window, through the window of the dining room, one could see. So, everything is clearly seen. What's happening in the woodshed. So, Sergi also could see what's happening in the woodshed and everything that went on in the yard. So that Sergi went into the dining room and started observing the beggar and the cook, Olga. Standing at the window, Sergi saw the cook and the beggar come out into the yard by the back door and make their way across the dirty snow to the shed. It was being winter season. There was a lot of snow in that place. So here Sergi went into the dining room to look outside the window and to observe them carefully and closely. And Sergi could see the woodshed in the yard, and he saw the cook and the beggar in the yard. They walked to the shed. Okay. Olga glared wrathfully. Wrathfully means, wrath means hatredness, anger. Wrathfully means with hatredness, unfriendliness, with a lot of anger. At her companion. Who's the companion? Means nothing but a person who works or who gives company, an associate. And who is referred to as companion of Volga here? The cook's companion? Nothing but the beggar. Okay. Shoved him aside. Means, show means push. Push a person aside. Shoved him aside with her elbow. Elbow means nothing but the joint between your upper arm and lower arm. The bottom part of that. That's what you call elbow. So this is what you call elbow. You can see here, elbow. So pushed him with her elbow, unlocked the shed The shed was being locked and she unlocked it and angrily banged the door, opened the door. So the cook Olga started at the beggar angrily. Stared means looked very angrily, glanced at the beggar angrily, pushed him with her elbow and shut the door. Next, he saw pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in the thought with his red cheeks resting on his fists. The woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and, judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. So, what happened? Then he saw the beggar, okay, who had lied him, and pseudo teacher means who is not an impostor, who pretended to be a real teacher, okay, who had lied that he had been a teacher, okay, sitting on a log. What was Sergi observing through the window? Sergi saw the beggar who had lied that he had been a teacher sitting on a log of wood. He was not doing work, he just sat on the log of wood, a piece of wood, and he sat with his cheeks resting on his fist. How did he sit? He sat, see, resting on his cheeks like this, keeping his face, I mean his cheeks, in between his fists. The folded hand is called fist. Resting on his fist, the woman flung, means threw down an axe at his feet. So Olga the cook threw an axe at him at the feet of the beggar, spit, past and spat, almost insulted him by throwing out her saliva, spat angrily, and, judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. She started the cook Olga started scolding abusing the beggar, for he had no willingness to do the work. Then the beggar irresolutely pulled a billet. Billet means, in this context, a thick piece of wood which is to be broken, of wood towards him, set it up between his feet and tapped it feebly, tried to break it with the axe that was given to him, that was thrown by the cook at his feet. Here feebly means weakly, with the axe. Okay, actually he was not interested to do that, but as he had no alternative, since he promised him that he would do whatever work was given by Sergi, he tried to do that. The billet wavered and fell down. So what happened? The billet, the piece of the wood which he wants to cut, jumped out of the place, escaped from his feet and fell down. It fell somewhere. The beggar again pulled it to him because he had no practice. He never performed such work, laborious, strenuous work. So he pulled it to him, blew on his breathing hands. So when you feel that your hands are wet, and if you want to have some grip of holding any tool or instrument, you also will usually do. You may blow and rub your hands in order to dry the moisture. Okay, blew on his freezing hands, and it was extremely cold outside, and there was a snowfall, and so he did in such a way, and tapped it with his axe, tried to break the billet, the piece of wood. Cautiously means very carefully, as if afraid of hitting his overshoe or of cutting off his finger, because he was so meticulous, very careful or cautious, and that he was afraid that the axe would hit him on his feet or he was afraid that his finger would be cut by the axe. So he was very careful while tapping or cutting the billet, the piece of wood. The stick of wood again fell to the ground, and again it missed. The billet or the piece of wood escaped from him, and he could not break that into pieces. Sergei's anger had vanished. Vanished means disappeared, of course reduced, and he now began to feel a little sorry. Okay, he started regretting himself and ashamed of himself. He felt sorry for what he was doing, and he was unable to do the given work properly, for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps a sick man to work. Now Sergei had been observing all this, and Sergei now previously he was very angry and he left to the dining room. Now observing the position and the act of the beggar, he understood that he was not fit. He was unable to do the work, since he was not a workaholic person. He never used to do such kind of work. Sergei's anger had vanished means, of course, reduced, and Sergei now began to feel or realize or understood a little sorry. He felt sorry and ashamed of himself. Sergei felt very sorry that having given such a kind of laborious, strenuous work to the beggar. Who was the beggar? What kind of man? He was a spoiled beggar, drunken, perhaps sick also, not healthy because of not eating food in time. To work at menial labor. What's the meaning of menial? Unskilled. Unskilled person who is not talented, who is not skilled, who is inferior, who lacks skill in doing such kind of task in the cold, especially outside. It was extremely cold, and so Sergei felt ashamed of himself for having asked the beggar to do such kind of work in the unfavorable weather conditions. Next, an hour later, just after an hour, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. So after some time, the cook Olga came and informed Sergei, her master, that the work has been finished. What was the work? To chop the wood, to cut into pieces. Good. Give him half a ruble. You know what a ruble is? A currency, a unit of currency in Russia. And 1 ruble is equal to 100. What do you call them? 100 pies. Said Sergei, if he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him. And he also told, Sergei also informed that if the beggar is willing to come seeking the work, if he wanted to do the work, he could come the first day of every month, and cut the wood or chop the wood into pieces and get some money. Okay, the work will be waiting for him. On the first of the month, the waif means what here? A homeless person. Okay, nothing but a nomad, a wanderer, made his appearance. Okay, the next month, first day, as Sergei advised him, the beggar came again in order to work, in order to chop the wood, made his appearance, and again earned half a ruby, and he did it. Of course, you know how he did it. And however, ultimately he completed the work and he earned half a ruble. Although he could barely stand on his legs, and he was staggering, he could not stand properly because he lacked strength, stamina. From that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. So he continued to attend the work on the first of every month, and used to take half a ruble with him. He never skipped it. Now he would shovel. Shovel means to remove snow with a shovel. Means it's nothing but an instrument which is used to remove the frozen ice or snow. A tool resembling a spade, you can see in the diagram, with a broad blade and typically unchurned sides. So usually in such cold countries there will be freezing, and so they have to frequently remove the snow using an instrument called shovel. Snow now put the wood shed in order, and Sergi asked him to arrange the pieces of the wood that was chopped in proper order, and now beat the dust out of the rugs, and some rugs and blankets were there, and he was asked to remove the dust by beating it against the wall or something, and he was given some kind of petty works. Petty means small, unimportant, minute, minor. The dust out of rugs and mattresses every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks for his work, and once even a pair of old trousers were sent out to him, and even Sergi offered him or gave him his old trousers for the beggar for his service. I mean, for doing the work. When Sergi moved into another house, so Sergi wanted to move or shift to another house, then he hired him. So he engaged the beggar to help him in packing and hauling. Hauling means transporting of the furniture and everything in moving from one house to another house. And this time the wife was sober, gloomy, and silent, means the worker. So the person who is allotted to do some work, but the beggar could not do it properly. The beggar was very weak and very sorrowful, unhappy, and so he could not do the work. He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons, means the trucks which carried the furniture and all luggage, hanging his head, not even making a pretense. Pretense means to show something which actually does not exist. Okay, acting as if he is doing the work of appearing busy. And so the beggar actually did not do any work. He just moved behind the truck or the wagon. He even did not touch, hardly means almost not touched the furniture also, and he just walked behind the wagons or the trucks, hanging his head. That means lethargically, without having any energy, and not even making any pretense, means he did not even act as though he was doing some work. He spent the day in such a way. He only shivered in the cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness. What does jeered means? Made fun of him. Carters means the co-workers who were engaged to carry the furniture and transport all, and they made fun of him because he was unable to do any work perfectly. So they laughed at, they made fun of the beggar for his idleness, means laziness, his feebleness means lack of strength, being weak, and his tattered means almost damaged, ragged, fancy overcoat. The coat was almost damaged, and so he looked funny. After the moving was over, Sergi sent for him. After everything was over, after the work allotted was over, Sergi called the beggar. Well, I am happy that my words leave taken effect. The words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. Here is for your pains. I see you are sober, and you have no objection to work. What's your name? Because he did not ask him of his name. Lashkov. Well, Lashkov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. I will offer you some better employment. Can you write? Are you illiterate? Can you write? He asked. The beggar accepted that he could write. And he also offered some money for his service that he offered for during the transport of the furniture and the luggage. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow and you will be given some copying to do. Okay, take this letter, hand out this letter to my friend the next day, tomorrow, and he will give you some writing work. Okay, and you will be asked to copy something. Work hard, don't drink, but I suggest you, I advise you, always be industrious, work hard, don't drink, give up drinking, alcoholic beverages, and remember what I have said to you. Goodbye. Okay, all the best. Sergi bid farewell to the beggar, pleased at having put a man on the right path. Sergi was very glad, very delighted that he tried to transform a person. So he felt some satisfaction that he could change the beggar, and he made him work. Sergi trapped Lashkov kindly, the beggar kindly, on the tapped means what? Nothing but patted him in appreciation. Sergi, the advocate, appreciated Lashkov kindly on the shoulder, patted, and even gave him his hand at parting. Okay, goodbye. Parting means separation. That because he sent Sergi sent the beggar to look after some other work, writing work. Lashkov took the letter, and from that day forth came no more to the ad for work, and he used to come the first day of every month to in order to chop the wood. Since then he never came to the yard, the Sergi's house, to do the laborious work, chopping wood. 2 years went by. 2 years passed away. Then one evening, as Sergi was standing at the ticket window of a theater, when he was standing to get a ticket for a movie in the theater, paying for his seat, reserving his seat, he noticed a little man, a person who is short enough, beside him with a coat collar of cauliflower and a worn sealskin cap. Look here in the picture. Sergi noticed or observed a little man just beside him with a coat collar. So he wore a good or costly coat and curly fur. Curly means which is twisted. Okay, fur means nothing but the wool or some fabric with which that means the sweaters and mufflers that we usually wear in winter season. Curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. Sealskin means seal is nothing but an animal which we usually find in the cold countries, and it has a lot of fat, and so people eat that and use that oil, take extract from the fat of the seal to light the lamps in their houses in those countries. And the skin is also used as a comforter. They will make some comforters such as caps, coat, sweaters, etc. And the man wore such a sealskin cap. This little individual timidly, the little individual, who is referred to be the little individual? The little individual is nothing but the beggar. Timidly means having no courage, in a shy or nervous way. Okay, he looked tense. Asked the ticket seller. He also came there to buy a ticket for the theater, for the show, for a seat in the gallery, and paid for it in the copper coins. He asked him to give the ticket and paid the cost of the ticket in copper coins that he had. Lashkov, is that you? Cried Sergey. Sergey could identify the little man. He was none but the beggar, whom he transformed and whom he tried to change or show the work. Lashkov, is it you? Cried Sergey. Recognizing means identifying in the little man his former wood chopper who worked him in his shed. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? All right, he just inquired about him. Okay, I am a notary. A notary is nothing but a person who is authorized to perform certain legal familiar formalities. Such means he will write some documents and he will sign deeds. Okay, and he will be a person appointed by the court of law on behalf of the government to look after the documentation. Now I am a notary now, and I am paid 35 rubles a month. I am earning 35 rubles a month, just like 35 rupees, because 1 ruble means nothing but 1 rupee, if you think so. Now he is doing a decent job. Thank heaven. That's fine. I am delighted, very glad, I am very pleased for your sake. I am very glad, Lashkov. You see, you are my godson, means a boy or a man whom one promises to bring up, because he could change him. Otherwise, he would be begging on the streets and living at the mercy of the sympathy of the people. So, he changed his life, transformed his life. So, you are my godson. In a sense, I gave you a push along the right path. I showed you the right path. I transformed you. I changed your life. You know, do you remember what I roasting? What's the meaning of that roasting? Here, scolding. I used to scold you when you were lazy and when you were lying for the sake of money. I gave you, I nearly had you sinking into the ground of my feet that day. I found you in a pathetic and desperate state when I met you. But I could see the desired change in you. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. You could remember my words and you started living decently. Thank you, too, said Lashkov. If I hadn't come to you, then I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. So, Lashkov thanked Sergey for transforming or changing his life, and he felt that if he had not given a helping hand, showed the path, then the beggar would have been doing the same thing and he would be in a worse condition. He showed his gratefulness to Sergey. I am very glad. I am very happy. Indeed, really. Thank you for your kind words and deeds. I am very grateful, means thankful to you and to your cook. That is Olga. God bless that good and noble woman. Who is that noble woman? Nothing but the cook in Sergey's house, Olga. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted, means very much grateful to you to my dying day. Then I was in a worse state. Okay, I was nothing then. But strictly speaking, it was your cook, Olga, who saved me. How is that? How is your cook, Olga? And she was solely responsible for all my that means improvement, progress. Okay, she encouraged me, of course, by scolding me, and I understood, I realized my fault when I was unable to do the work assigned by her. When I used to come to your house to chop wood, to cut the wood into pieces, she used to begin, "Oh, you sot, a habitual drunkard. You, oh, you miserable creature. There's nothing for you but ruin, and you are completely destroyed. You are of nothing. and you are a bloody drunkard. Okay, you're completely addicted to alcoholic beverages, and you decided not to work hard. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, means pathetically, sorrowfully, look into my face and weep. And she started looking at me, but I was unable to do any work and in a worse state, helpless state. And she started looking into my eyes and to feel sorry for what my condition was. She almost tried to weep also. Oh, you unlucky man, unfortunate man, there is no pleasure for you. You are never happy. Okay, in this world, and there will be none in this world to come. There will not be anybody for to look after you, to take care of you. Okay, you must change yourself. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. Of course, I scolded him like anything for not doing any work, for not showing interest, and which changed him to become a decent man. So, the beggar attributed all the credit of his present life and the decent and respectable job that he is doing to Olga. He said that he owe a lot to Olga. Indirectly or directly, she was responsible for the transformation or the change or the progress in him. You unhappy one. And so she would carry on. She went on scolding me. You know, in that strain, I can't tell you how much suffering. Misery means suffering, unhappiness. She suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake, because I am helpless and I could not do anything, and she almost cried for me. But I was not able to do any work assigned. But the chief thing, the most important thing was she used to chop the wood for me. You know, I never chopped the wood. I could not do that. I was not able to do that. But your cook, Olga, did all on behalf of me. Okay, that was a great favor which brought a great realization in me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all for me. Why this saved me? Why I changed? That is the reason why I realized I stopped all my that means drinking and all my bad habits. I determined to lead a decent life. I didn't want to be a dependent and a parasite. Why I stopped drinking at the sight of her, I cannot explain. It's all because of your cook Olga that I stopped drinking and I stopped being lazy and I stopped begging. Everything, all the change and all the transformation came in me was due to your cook, directly or indirectly. I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, I was very indebted to her. Indebted means very grateful, thankful to her. I should show my gratitude. She was a noble lady. She had a lot of patience. A change took place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it's time to go now. There goes the bell. We are in theater. The movie is about to start. So, giving him farewell, Lashkov bowed and departed, went off to the gallery. So, that's the end of the lesson, and you could understand how a lazy person, an idle person who was not willing to work and chosen easy means of begging to earn his livelihood, transformed his life and began to live a decent life. Okay, this lesson gives us a wonderful message that we should never give up our hard-working nature. We should try to earn our livelihood by working hard, not by any easy means such as begging, cheating people, lying, etc. Because you will have the satisfaction when you work hard and earn and lead your livelihood. Okay, you can be happy. Okay, thank you very much.